Okay, so I am going to paint an avatar and share with you um, how I do that. I'm pretty slow, so I may not get it done in the time that this video allows. And I'm going to try to, best thing to do if you don't want to like watch it in real time, just click on the gear icon and then you can change the speed of the video and you can make it twice as fast if you don't want to, you know, watch it in my slow pace that I use. So basically I have this background here. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and delete that. But because when I'm using this brick wall in the spray paint game, um, I just like to have a canvas. So I always start on layer 11, and the reason is because if somebody comes in to try to spray over your paint, 9 times out of 10 they don't have the bundles package, and so they only have levels 1 through 10. So I will start with my background at a layer 11, and then when I start the outline, which is just reference points draft sketch of what I'm going to do, I will go up to like layer 14, which is where I'm at currently. And so she has this avatar has kind of a cute, um, kind of a kitten type of toboggan hat. And so, whoop, now this is just the rough outline that I do. And so by doing this, this will be the shape of the head. This will give me the reference points. A lot of people will use the lines for the face and all that. If I was to do an actual person, I would do that. But because I am just doing an avatar, so here is where the hat is going to end and where the hair will begin. And down here will be kind of the side of the hat. So I'm just, again, giving some reference points to kind of get the shape. And usually I just do half of an avatar. Like, I don't like to do the full body. Um, Very rarely. And then there's this little cute little, I don't know what you call it, kind of like a little palm that they have. The kind of hat that has these little strings that hang down and has a little palm on the bottom of it. I actually own a couple of those. They're really cute. Okay, and so then a lot of times on Roblox, they don't have a face, or if they do have a face, they only have a partial face. So don't think that I'm just excluding painting their face. I'm just doing it. Whoop, I'm going to go up a layer because I'm adding another color, and if you don't go up a layer, what'll happen is it'll be like glitchy looking. So that's the thing about using layers on this game. Whoop, go back down to 14. Never use two different colors on the same layer, unless of course you want a glitchy look. Hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, it's Lil. Let me put my mic on. Hey, Lil, I'm doing a video right now, and I'm demonstrating how to paint with layers. So I'm gonna mute my mic. Anyways, that's Lil, and she's always throwing skateboards at me, but because I'm up here on the boxes, she can't get to me. Yeah. So, but yeah, she's kind of funny. So then down here, I'm just doing. Now I do use neon black. Um, the non-neon black kind of has a flat look to it, and so this is just kind of demonstrating how far down into the face that these bangs go, and there will not be any eyes visible on this particular avatar because that is how they created it. A lot of times avatars, for whatever reason, don't even have faces, like, or heads or anything. It's just like a missing head. And you'll see like little neck stuff. I don't know why that's a popular thing, but it's a thing, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and on another layer, I'm going to take my neon off because neon does not work with but just a few colors, and I will do a test on my color that's a little too dark, so I'm going to probably go all the way up. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete these. I like to delete these as I go so I don't forget what layer they're on. Okay, so now I'm going to go up yet another layer, layer 17. And actually I'm going to go up, yeah, just up one layer, because when you only have 20, so you don't want to go up too far when you're doing the face, because I have to put 2 more layers on top of this, because I have 2 colors on the face that I need to do. So I'm going to need 2 more layers on top of this. So this will be just the face, the shape of the face, which I will probably go ahead and use the ruler just for a little bit out like that. I don't want it too straight looking. And it kind of has that, I don't know really what you call it. Um, kind of a noob looking shape of a head. And then the neck will be right here, which isn't very much of a neck at all. Now here I'm going to go ahead and use the ruler, because I don't want a lumpy looking face. There we go. Okay, so going across, I'll use the ruler just a little bit, just to try to kind of keep it neat, because I am using a mouse, by the way, on my desktop. So it's not the easiest thing to draw with. Alright, so as you see, it's a little uneven there. I don't know why, but sometimes I have to click on it multiple times for it to even work. Alright, there we go. Now, sometimes the pointer where you're pointing is a little off, and the higher the layer that you go, the more you'll see that problem, especially with chrome paint. I've had problems with chrome paint, painting on top of chrome paint. Like when you paint your chrome paint, and what I do is I'll use the ruler and go straight across, because if you go back and forth on the chrome paint and you paint it kind of heavily, for whatever reason, it's hard to paint on top of that. I don't know if that's a glitch or that's just the way the chrome paint is. So I'm a little careful about how I paint with chrome paint. Whoop. Now I'm going to take that eraser down a bit, because I don't want to erase my outline of the hat, which is at a lower layer. And usually what I'll do is I will go back over the outline of the hat at a higher layer, just so that, anyways, this looks a little off. Actually, if you can see what I mean, I'm going to go ahead and just erase this whole thing. When I'm looking at it, it just looks lopsided. And that's why I used the reference point where the hat's going to be. You can start with the face and do the hat later, but to keep them all lined up properly, I like to start at the top and work my way down. That's just my preference. Okay, so now see this right here? So looking at the picture, you're going to have a little bit of space here for the hair. So there's going to be hair here and then hair here. Okay, and then the face is going to start right about here. So it's pretty much even with this right here, where this ear begins. That's a little better. Go back to my ruler. And then I'm going to have a lot more hair on this side, according to the picture, than I do on this side. So the most of this part of the face is going to be covered up eventually with the hair. So what I will do is I will go back down a layer to 16, and then go ahead and fill this in with the skin color. First I'm going to, this is where the neck is going to be, like so. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and increase my brush size. Not too much. And then what I'm going to do Now keep in mind, this hair is probably going to be painted over. And now what I'd like to do is paint under it. But that's why I only did like the reference points. So this will be the only part of the face that will be visible, because the eyes are covered up by the hair, which is actually pretty popular among avatars, is to have the hair not visible. I mean the eyes not visible because of the hair. That's what I meant to say. Now I'm going to go down on the brush size when I get closer to the edges here. Not that much. I didn't mean to go all the way down to 1. About 3 is good. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and go to level 18 once I get this done. And so basically, I'm going to go down here because I'm going to show you where the outline for the neckline is going to be. So this is going to be the neckline. It's going to be a shirt. There's a necklace there also, which I will do later. So all of this will be filled in. This is what we'll be showing. And I don't even have my opacity turned on, but you can control the opacity depending on what you're doing. And I'm not even using that currently. I don't see anything that will need to reduce opacity on this particular painting. So, okay. Now then, I'm going to go ahead and delete or erase this little nub over here, which is kind of hard to get when you've got a small eraser size to get underneath that right there. Okay, so I'm going to go up to 18. I'm going to do the outline of the hair and go down here, and I am going to use neon paint. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and erase this outline here down to layer 15. I believe that's layer 15. Might be 14. Well, it might be 16 because it's kind of on the same one. Yep, that's layer 16. So go ahead and erase these dots.
He's so much faster than me.
Okay, and then I will have to go back and fill that in. Alright, and now, actually, nah. That's going to be covered up anyways with hair. So now I'm going to go to level 18. And now I'm going to do the actual outline, which is quite a bit of the hair. And then got just this little strand here, which actually I don't have a smaller stroke. And the thing about this particular game is when you use the smallest stroke that you have, which is 0.1, what'll happen is you'll get this just dotted look. There's like spaces in between. And so you have to go back over it to fill it in, and then it becomes a thicker stroke anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this because it's more of a wisp of a hair than a full strand of hair. So I kind of want that thin look there. Alright, so this little wisp of a hair here. See what I mean? How there's like, if I zoom in, see that? It's like connect the dots or something. And then you have to go back over it. So that's just the limitations of the quality of tools that this game has. Now there's another game that has definitely smoother strokes and smaller stroke size. That goes all the way down to 0.05. So this is 0.10, and the other one goes down all the way down to 0.5, which is pretty cool. And it's just smoother. Now see, I'm trying to make this go up, and instead of going up on the wheel, it's painting. Sometimes there's that issue with desktop mouse that I have, and it's not erasing. There we go. That's so tedious. I don't like having marks all over the wall where I'm painting. Try to keep my area clean, if you will. All right. So now we go back down to
So you don't
16
want
because
me
we're
to
going to
come
paint underneath the
back.
hair. And go up on the brush size just a wee little bit. And it's okay if you get up in here a little or over under that, because that's all going to be painted over. So it's okay if you go beyond the lines. That's quite okay. All right. Now going back down, go back to layer 18 where I'm doing the hair. Go down here, click neon. All right, so this is where the hair kind of comes down, and then it kind of comes over here and goes back down here like so. And then if you see what I'm doing here, right up on to where that hat braid thing is. Okay, and then over here on this side, it gets closer up. And then fill all this in. Then I'm going to go down to layer 17. I'm going to take the neon off, so it's not going to be as bright, a little bit flatter for that down here. And I'm actually going to go down to 14 to get underneath the face, the skin, because I don't want to. So you're going to have like the black hair. And then the shirt will be right about here. So you'll see some of that hair in the background. And then go back up to 18. Just kind of have to keep track of the layers, what you're doing on your layers. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to do that. That's the wisp, but I don't want that. That's like separate. Okay, now then. Alright. And then this hair comes all the way down here, kind of long. And it just kind of curls up a little bit at the end. And then I will fill this in with lighter colors. But see what I'm saying about how you have this disconnected painting? Like there's like circles, they're like dots that's not connected. I mean, it's free software, so if you want better quality painting tools, then there are some softwares that are free, or you can get a subscription, whatever. I have seen some people, though, do a really good job with blending with this particular software. And that's just one thing that I've not got there yet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the color wheel. I'm going to go right about here. So I'm going to go up to a little bit lighter, test my color before I go in there. So I'm going to go a little bit darker than that. Almost there, almost there, almost there. Because this doesn't always match what actually comes out. And sometimes when you're painting on certain colors, it doesn't look the same. Like the other day I was painting on a green background and I had to remove the background because the colors were not showing up. But they were actually, they just changed. And so I didn't like the way it looked. There, so you can see just a little bit of a difference in going underneath. To fill it in. And sometimes, again, the pointer doesn't always line up perfectly with where the paint is landing. Some games are worse than others with that issue. I played this, you basically paint your own avatar kind of thing, and that pointer, now it may work fine on mobile, but it was not working very friendly with the mouse for desktop. It was like half an inch off. And it was really difficult trying to paint in that game. So it was a cool game, cool concept. Basically, you make a doodle and it becomes your avatar, which I thought that was really cool. But the tools were just a little off, if you will. I'm going to paint over here, kind of fill in the hair. That noise you hear in the background is skateboarding. They have skateboard in this game, which is really cool. I love the skateboard feature of this game. And I really wish the other realistic spray paint game would add that. Well, I'm going to have to go back up onto 8. Let's see. No, I'm going back up to 18 on this one so that I can go over the skin, the face. And then gotta leave room for the hat. There's actually more hair than I anticipated. So now I need to move my avatar over just a little bit because that way I can see what I'm doing down here. And that's the thing about this game is your avatar can actually get in the way. And in the other game, you can actually have your avatar sit down and you can paint while your avatar is in the sitting position. And unfortunately, that's not a thing you can do in this game. Your avatar is not the one that's actually painting, it's just there for show. You're painting with your mouse. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go in here and go underneath and fill stuff in. Go back down to 15. Test my color here. That looks okay. Fill that in. Go down just a bit, not too much. Uh-oh. That looked like it glitched a little, so I'm going to have to go back over that on 16. I don't want it looking glitchy. And then we'll start doing the hat. And the expression on this avatar is kind of cute. It's kind of, the mouth's kind of like scrunched up, like, I don't know, maybe it's not really a scowl, but you kind of imagine when you're focused on something and you kind of scrunch your face up a little bit. I'm going to go to 17 on this one because the face is done in 16. And so to fill that in, you just got to make sure that you don't paint two colors on the same layer. And go up just a little bit on that color wheel and go back down to 16. So I'm really going underneath the column, like the tracing lines. Okay, now I can basically get ready to start doing the, gotta go back up to 17. When you're going over the skin to fill that in. Oh, actually 18. Oh, I'll go up to 19 on that one because I had two different colors on that one. Alright, now I'll go back down to 18, click on neon, and then go down to here. Then I'm going to reduce this down to 1 because I want to kind of make the bottom part of the hair that has pointy parts. So like right here. So that's not kind of got like a dull edge on the bottom. So you have some wisps. I guess that's what you call it. I don't know who's making that oof noise. See what I mean? You have to go back up over it because it doesn't, like, it leaves circles. It's kind of a nuisance because then it ends up being thicker than the wisp that you're looking for. I don't know who's doing that noise. Alright. Okay, so now, oh no! She's down there throwing skateboards at people, I'm sure. She's just a little kid. And that's the thing about, you have to remember when you're in this game, you have to remember that these are little kids. And yes, they do annoying things, but they're little kids. So just talk to them and say, hey, will you please stop doing that? And she knows that people get mad when she throws skateboards at them. But if you ask her to stop, she will. She'll stop. So I just say, rather than, just automatically kicking people, try to talk to them because they're just little kids, some of them. All right, take the neon off. And I'm going to go down to layer 17. Because, like, if I was not up on these boxes painting, she would have already thrown the skateboards at me. But I don't, well, that's not the color I wanted at all. So that's why I always test your colors. And that's the thing about this game, too. I don't know if it happens to people on mobile, but for whatever reason, sometimes that wheel, that color wheel, I'll set it on something and it moves. And I don't know if it's just a glitch with my mouse or what the deal is. This guy's painting close to me. So sometimes when I move this wheel, it'll paint instead of moving the wheel. So I have to be careful if I'm painting next to somebody and they don't know me. I don't want them thinking I'm, painting on their stuff. That's not my intention. It happens. Like, see where these gray dots are from me trying to move that wheel? They might think I'm trying to paint on their stuff, and I'm not. So I always just kind of move my screen a little bit, so if it does accidentally paint, it's not going to be right on top of their stuff. And I don't know why it does that. Okay, that's the color I want right there. But that's another thing, if somebody accidentally sprays on your stuff, it might actually be an accident. So don't just automatically try to kick somebody for grieving. And another thing, sometimes people get disconnected, right? And then they're